Hey everyone, I'm Autistic Ange. This is a podcast for adults who recently found out they're autistic and are looking for other autistic people like them. This is not a planned episode. This week has been so busy. I haven't had time to plan my second episode like I usually do. I try to do 2 a week. But something just happened and I was like, I can take a little bit of a break and record before I forget it. So I'm sitting here working on a book. I'm in a flow. I just started like half an hour ago, so it's not like I'm deep into work, but my phone goes off and my wife is FaceTiming me from work. So my first thought is, fuck. Because like I can't quite ignore a call from my wife. That's a dick move. Like I never just like, I'm not going to answer it. Like she's the only one I always answer for. So I do. And immediately like I can tell she's been crying and I'm thinking like, oh man, this is going to take a while. Like these are my first thoughts. And it could be anybody. It doesn't have to, it's not just because it's her. Like it could be anybody calling me. It could be Janice next door. Like she would never do that. But if she did, I would have the same thoughts. So I don't know if that makes it any better or whatever. But anyways, I feel like kind of an asshole because how the fuck did I do counseling for a decade? And I know I did a good job. I know that like I had empathy. I really enjoyed that job. I didn't like view clients as like assholes for crying or anything like that. Like, I don't know what it was about that job. I fucking loved it. I was good at it. But if it comes to something that like is outside of work, this is how I've been like my whole life. If it's outside of work and it's like a similar issue, I'm like, I don't really have the emotional bandwidth to deal with this today. Like, how fucked up does that sound? Like, I had it for strangers, but not for the people that, like, I know. Like, what the fuck? But anyways, so believe it or not, I actually was really good at that. But I'm not so good at it when it's just other people and, like, it's not a job I'm doing. I don't know if that makes any sense. But anyways, so I feel a little selfish because my thoughts are, I'm working and now I'm interrupted and now I have to stop what I'm doing. And I know this is going to take a while because it seems to be an emotional situation that is going to require some attention. And so she starts talking and it's just one of those things where she's such a good worker, but you know how like when you work for other people, like every place I've ever worked, it's always like you get talked to when you're not doing something that they want you to be doing or you're not doing it well enough. It's hardly ever for you're doing such a great job. Oh my God. Like, no, morale sucks at like a lot of places. Sorry about the dry mouth. Here we go with the water. This is so annoying. But anyways, so she had supervision today with her supervisor and like, it was just some stupid, like her supervisor just pointed something out that like she thought was an issue and it really wasn't. It's like supervisors are fucking stupid. Like not all of them, but a lot of the ones I've come in contact with have been just so incompetent. So it was just one of those. It's just this like person that doesn't know how to supervise properly. And the only time she talks to people is when she thinks they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Or, she's like one of those, it sounds like. So my wife got upset and like when she got out of supervision, she went to her office and she was like crying. And that's not like her. Because like she's had depression for years and years, so she doesn't outwardly express a whole lot. Like it's hard to tell when she's excited about something because she doesn't really show it. But recently she's started to have access to feelings that have been closed off for like a long time, and now things are upsetting her more than like they normally would have in the past. And so I know that like the right thing to do is to help somebody work through their feelings. So that's what I did. But like the whole time I'm talking to her, I'm thinking to myself, I feel like a robot. Like, I don't feel bad right now that she's crying. And this is my wife. But I'm just going to apply this to anybody. I don't really feel bad when people are crying, which makes me sound like a huge bitch. But, you know, like, I don't understand this part of me. Like, I love my wife. I am such a deep thinker and a deep feeler. And why is it that, like, this situation arises and I'm just fucking annoyed by it? Like, I have better things to be doing. And that's what I was thinking while she was crying and talking to me about, like, why she was upset. I was just thinking, how long is this going to take? Like, I really want to get back to work. No joke, that's the shit I was thinking. And when I got off the phone with her, I was like, oh my God, I feel like a huge asshole, because I don't know if that was masking that what I did on the FaceTime. Like, was that masking? I'm pretty sure it was, because like I was like, I'm sorry that you feel this way, because I did feel bad that she felt sad, but that's about it. And I was pointing out to her like all the good things that she does at work, and how like so many people, like everywhere she goes, people love her. But there's always that one dumb supervisor that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. And especially with the people that do know what they're doing, they gotta find something that they think is a fault and bring that person down. And that's what this situation seemed like. But we were on FaceTime for like 10 minutes. And I remember thinking like, okay, make sure that like you look like, aw, that sucks that you feel that way. Make sure you're giving empathy, or like sounding like you're empathetic. Like, what the fuck, man? Those are the thoughts I had, and I haven't had thoughts like that in a long time. No, that's not true. I think it was last week. But anyways, yeah, so I was just trying to, if I'm honest, I was just trying to like get the call over with sooner rather than later. And she was still sad like a few minutes in, and I know that's how emotions work, but I'm like, man, I really need to get back to work. And then like 7 minutes goes by and I'm like, I've lost my flow. Now I'm irritated. And meanwhile, she's starting to feel a little bit better. This is so fucked up. And I am not telling her this. If she listens to this episode someday, whatever. But like, I know she doesn't listen to this, so I'm not worried. But I feel like such a dick. Oh God, why am I like this? I don't want to be like this. You know, because the thing that baffles me is I am so emotional. Like, my meltdowns when I'm in public. Excuse me, sorry. When I'm in public, like, I'm freaking out sometimes. Like, I have feelings. I cry at sad things on the TV. Music overwhelms me sometimes because of how emotional it makes me feel. So why the fuck do I turn into a robot when somebody needs me emotionally? Like, why? I mean, I know it's like, I don't know if vulnerable is the right word. Maybe it is, you know, like when somebody is looking to you to make them feel better, that can feel like, it can feel like vulnerable to me, I guess. But it doesn't make me feel uncomfortable. Or does it? I don't know. I'll have to think about this. Sometimes I feel super selfish because it's like when I feel emotional and I'm upset, yeah, she better stop what she's doing and like help me. Like, please make me feel better. Please show me that you care. All the things that I appreciate, but it's not so easy for me to tap into when it's her. And it's not like this happens all the time. I mean, there's definitely times where I feel like genuinely upset for her, or you know what I mean? It's just, this is a time where I cannot tap into that. I'm just thinking, like, I have other stuff to do right now. Like, why are you calling me? My God, I hope she never listens to this ever. That's all I really got on here to say. I really, really hope I'm not the only one that feels like this. Like, is this an autistic thing? Because I'm not the imparter of, like, I don't have imparter. Is that a word? I'm not the imparter of whatever. I don't have all the answers. I don't even think I have some of the answers. I'm just trying to figure this stuff out. But after I got off the phone, I was like, is this an autistic thing? Or is this just an asshole thing? I don't know what the difference is. I mean, there is a difference, but I think you guys know what I mean. Does anybody out there do that? Especially like if it's a spouse. Have you done this or thought this with like a spouse? Is this autistic? Does anybody have any information? Like, I really don't know. I'm going to definitely add this to my list of things to research about autism. But what a weird fucking thing to experience. And this is like the all or nothing stuff that like is so interesting to me. Like, either I am super emotional or I'm not emotional at all. Either I'm super empathetic or I have zero empathy. Like, rarely is there ever like a middle part. And I have no idea if I can ever like get to that middle part. But anyways, hopefully somebody out there related to this. I'm sorry if I sounded like a bitch, but I felt like I needed to get on and record because I don't know if this is an autistic thing. Like I said, I think I'm just repeating myself. So thanks for listening. This was just me recording to an app on my phone. Hoping people find me and listen and relate, and hopefully have a similar experience to the one I had when I heard myself on someone else's podcast. Just a little disclaimer. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm on crack and I talk too fast. I mean, if we're honest, like, this is just how I am all the time. So, like, any time that I talk slower than this and make more sense is a miracle. So if you got this far, thank you so much, and goodbye.